I was never the type of person to believe in miracles, to believe in things like your higher self or God or the universe, things which are spiritual, which is pretty funny to think about right now because that's what my YouTube channel is based around. And if you were to tell me 10 years ago that the future Steven's gonna have a YouTube channel talking about this stuff, he would think you're absolutely crazy. So that's why I wanted to make this video talking about miracles, because once I got into alignment, once I did this unintentionally, I unintentionally got into alignment, and that's when the universe started to show me miracles, and it absolutely changed my life. Because up until then, before I was a believer in this stuff, I was a skeptic, and I was feeling like life was unfulfilling, that life had no meaning, that I had no purpose, and it was really like I felt like the universe was against me. And everything changed when I got into alignment, and that's when the universe felt like it started to show me miracles. It started to show me that it was on my side. It started to reflect back to me the opportunities and synchronicities which were in alignment with the version of myself that I wanted to be and where I wanted to go. And so that's why I wanted to make today's video, because I believe that you guys can experience miracles in your own life as well, just like I did, if you were just to get into alignment with your truest and highest version of yourself. That's when everything changes. I'm going to be reading from a lot of books, a lot of quotes. So you can see here I've actually got all my quotes from my books open. So just get settled and I will start to read. So the first quote which I want to read to you guys is from The Alchemist. Now, I've read this already before in a different video, but it strikes me because on the blurb, usually a blurb has like a big summary of the book, right? But for this, The Alchemist, he just has one quote. Paulo Coelho only has one quote, and it goes, "To realize one's destiny is a person's only obligation." So I think the first step for us to get into alignment is to try to find our life's purpose. And I think David Deida actually does a really good job in The Way of the Superior Man in describing this phenomena. So in his chapter, "If you don't know your purpose, discover it now," he says, "The core of your life is your purpose. Everything in your life, from your diet to your career, must be aligned with your purpose if you are to act with coherence and integrity in the world. If you know your purpose, your deepest desire, then the secret of success is to discipline your life so that you support your deepest purpose and minimize distractions and detours. But if you don't know your deepest desire, then you can't align your life to it. Everything in your life is disassociated from your core. Disconnected from your core, you feel weak. However, when you know your true purpose, which is your core desire in life, each moment can become a full expression of your core desire." So I think that's so powerful, because if you are disconnected from your purpose and you're just going to go through life just going through the motions, but once you align yourself, when you're connected to your deepest purpose, it'll change the way you interact with the world, and in doing so, it'll also change the way that the world interacts with you. That's how the universe has the opportunity to give you the miracles. It'll only have the opportunity to give you the miracles if you are connected to your deepest purpose, connected to your true core. And now you may be asking, how do I discover my purpose? I like how he says it here. If you don't know your purpose, discover it now. He says the word discover. Discover. That means that you need to find it. Society, school, your parents, they can't tell you what your purpose is. Only you know what your purpose is, and it has to come from deep within. That's another caveat to this. Like, your purpose has to come from within yourself. And if you don't know what your purpose is, then you can go out and try new things. Or I do also have a free higher self worksheet, linked down in the description below, completely free to download. And it actually has the journaling prompts that to help you navigate your own mind to try to figure out what it is that you actually want. And you know what? The cool thing about this is that when you know what you want, when you know exactly it is what you want, then that will shape you. And then there's this quote which I really like. It goes, "First you shape the goal, and then the goal shapes you." First you shape the goal, and then the goal shapes you. Once you have this goal, this ideal of where you want to go and who you want to be, it is literally going to alchemize you. It's going to change you into the version of yourself that you need to become to get to where you want to go. And that's an amazing process. It's an amazing transformation transformational journey. It's a whole process, and you're not going to be able to go through this amazing journey if you do not have a goal, if you do not know where you are going. So that's the first step. If you don't know your purpose, discover it now. Write a goal. Write down what it is or where it is that you want to go and who it is that you want to become. Now the second step to this, step number 2, is to embody this new version of you. Now I like this other quote which goes, embody a new vibration and the universe will show you miracles. Embody a new vibration and the universe will show you miracles. And it sort of makes sense, because if you're just being the same version of you, doing the same actions, having the same thoughts, then you're going to be getting the same results and the same experiences in your life. But if you embody this new version of you, especially this new version of you which is connected to your highest purpose and your highest goal of where you want to go and who you want to become, that's when the universe will respond to that and show you miracles. And there's this other quote, I forgot where it comes from, but it goes, the universe responds to the man or the woman who knows definitely what they want. Because that's essentially what a miracle is. A miracle is something which seems to be unexpected, which helps you towards a goal, or helps you on your journey, or helps you in your life. I'm going to be reading a few quotes from Neville Goddard. So this is his collected works. I'm a big fan of Neville Goddard. He does a great job of explaining this. He says, make the new feeling natural by wearing it. All things express their nature, so you must wear this feeling until it becomes your nature. It may take a moment or a year. It is entirely up to you. The moment all doubts vanish and I feel I am this, you begin to bear the fruit of the nature of the thing you are feeling yourself to be. Now he gives a good example here. He says, when a person buys a new hat or a new pair of shoes, he thinks that everyone knows that they are new. He feels unnatural with them on until he wears them long enough to make them natural. The same applies to the wearing of your new state of consciousness. I think this is an extremely powerful paragraph. Now this is where I see most people fall more. This is a trap that most people fall into. They fall into the trap that, okay, I'm going to try to become somebody new and I'm going to be that person, but then they start to feel that imposter syndrome within them. They start to feel unnatural, and then they take that as a sign, this feeling of unnaturalness as a sign that they should stop. They feel like an imposter and they don't like that feeling, so they go back to who they were. For example, me making YouTube videos, it took me a while to fully embrace this new version of me. For the longest time, it felt so unnatural talking in front of a camera. I actually felt nervous. Like my first few times, I was actually sweaty because I was just so nervous, until I made this a natural feeling, until I embodied this new version of me who is a YouTuber who talks in front of a camera. And it's the exact same thing with you. Whatever you are trying to be in your life, the transformation that you're trying to accomplish in your life, to be the new version of you, you're going to feel this. You're going to feel this enormous amount of resistance. But you have to, like Neville Goddard says, you have to wear this feeling until it becomes natural. And when it becomes natural, then that's when you know that your transformation is complete, that you are that version of you that you wanted to become. And when you become this version of you, that is when the universe will respond. The universe will respond to this new version of you by showing you synchronicities, by giving you opportunities. The universe can only do this when you have aligned, when you have changed your concept of self. And it is difficult. Like I said before, this is where most people feel the most resistance, and this is where they stop, because they don't understand that this is a normal part of the process. This feeling of unnaturalness, this feeling of imposter syndrome, of self-doubt, this is all natural. This is all part of this process. Now on that, I do want to talk about resistance, because like I said, that is the biggest thing holding people back and making people stay the same. And The War of Art by Steven Pressfield is actually a perfect book for this. So I'm going to read a few quotes. So the first one, he says, resistance will unfailingly point to true north, meaning that calling or action it most wants to stop us from doing. But we can use this. We can use this as a compass. We can navigate by resistance, by letting it guide us to that calling or action that we must follow before all others. Now here's a rule of thumb. The more important a call or action is to our soul's evolution, the more resistance we will feel towards pursuing it. And there's this quote from Carl Jung, which I got reminded of when I was reading this, and it goes, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek." So the things that we don't want to do, if we're feeling resistance towards our path, if we're feeling that self-doubt, if we're feeling that imposter syndrome, especially, we have to take that as a sign that we are on the right path. We are on the path of transformation. And when we are on the path of transformation, that's when our life will change. That's when the universe will respond. One of the misconceptions that we have is that you may ask yourself, hey, like, if this is my true calling, if this is my true purpose, then why can't I just flow towards it? Why can't I just be, like, why can't I just be that version of me freely without all this resistance? To that, Stephen Pressfield has this chapter which is called Resistance and Love. He says, resistance is directly proportional to love. If you're feeling massive resistance, the good news is it means that there's tremendous love there too. If you don't love the project that is terrifying you, you wouldn't feel anything. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. So I think that this is tying back to what I was saying, the reframing. And this is actually something which I teach in my program, the reframing reality. And this is where I teach my clients reframe things that they come across in their life towards the positive, because this is sort of like, in doing so, you are basically being the alchemist. Because what is an alchemist? In the olden days, an alchemist was believed to be able to transmute like a base metal into gold, something from one form to another. And there is so much psychological significance in the idea or the concept of being an alchemist, because you can be an alchemist in your life, because you can alchemize the things that you perceive to be bad and perceive them as good. Shakespeare, there's this famous Shakespeare quote. He says, "There's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so." There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. We have the free will. God's given us the free will to choose our own thoughts. And, I'm going to bring up another quote. And these quotes just keep coming to me. It's from Man's Search for Meaning. Just let me have a look for it. Okay, I found it. He says, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms. To choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." We have the ability to choose who we want to become, and to choose the thoughts that we want to entertain, that are in alignment to the version of ourselves that we want to be. And that ultimately ties into the quote which I said in the beginning of the video. First you shape the goal, and then the goal shapes you. This is exactly how the goal shapes you. You set up the goal, and then it will change your thoughts and your actions and your behaviors to be only that in congruence to the version of yourself that you want to be. And then when you do that, when you are fully in alignment, that is when the universe will start to show you miracles. That is when the universe will start to reflect back to you your inner state, the new inner state which you have chosen to embody. The universe will respond to that. It will give you the synchronicities. It will give you the opportunities and the abundance which are in alignment to the way that you feel. Because there's this law of attraction quote. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. You attract what you are, your state of being. That's what you attract. The outer world is just a mirror reflecting your inner state. That's why the universe will show you miracles once you change your inner state. And you can change your inner state by aligning to the highest version of yourself. Now, like I said, I've got a free higher self worksheet linked down in the description below. And not only does it help you align, but it also goes over the things which I talked about in this video, like trying to combat that resistance and self-doubt and imposter syndrome. It also helps you with dealing with those and integrating that into your life. So you're going to be able to truly embody this new vibration. And when you do, that's when you're going to see that the universe will start to show you miracles. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.